Yo, what's up, man? We live. Check me out. Make sure you share this video. What y'all up to today? What y'all up to today? Jamil, what up? Jamil, we winning, man. All right, so everybody, I mean, it's so yesterday. It's all over YouTube, and I just want to go through these tweets and talk about Vlad TV. And
okay, I want y'all to save this broadcast and listen.
So Vlad tweets out yesterday. Jamil, thank you for the super chat, man. Appreciate you. So Vlad tweets out yesterday. So Vlad tweets out yesterday, I have a confession. Rock Nation has been paying me to support Megan. So Rock Nation is Jay-Z. They also paid off all the jury members to convict Tory. They bribed the judge.
Okay.
2, Jay-Z did a verse for his grandson's nephew. They paid off Megan's doctor to lie about the bullet fragments. She was never shot. The police are all on Jay's payroll, and it doesn't stop with LA, but you're not ready to hear that part. The Mexican guy who stabbed Tory, who do you think paid him to do that? You already know the answer to that. The 3 Supreme Court judges who denied Tory's appeal all paid off by the Rock Mafia. Jay paid off Trump not to pardon Tory, even though it's a state case. Trump can only pardon federal cases, but knowing Trump likes to bend the rules, Jay wasn't taking any chances. I can't keep the lie secret anymore. If this is my last tweet, you know who silenced me. So this is what this guy said, right? Now I watched the academics. I watched the academics broadcast, but then there was this other dude. Wait a minute. Then there was this other dude.
Stay on that side. Vlad's calling. Hey, Vlad, what's going on?
Yeah, what's good?
How you doing, man? I'm on stream right now. Is it okay?
Sure, why not?
Okay, so I saw your tweets about Jay-Z and Rock Nation. Is everything okay? Are you in a safe spot?
Man, people just do not know sarcasm, do they? It's just sarcasm really just goes over people's heads. It really surprises me.
Okay, so you're trolling.
Of course I'm trolling, man.
Okay, so what's the purpose of this? Is it
Jay get a verse on the judge's grandson's album? Like,
okay?
how is this not obvious?
Yeah, the timing is strange because now he's getting revealed in the Epstein files. So I'm sure especially a lot of people do see how Tory Lanez is innocent.
I guess, man. Do they really? I mean, he's convicted by 12 jurors and the appeal has been denied. Like, come on.
You don't actually, you think that Megan Fox is the one, you think that he shot her in the foot?
Megan Stallion? He said Megan Fox.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking about...
He shot her too?
No. Okay, so... All right, you're just trolling.
Yeah, man. look, at the end of the day, we don't exactly know what happened, but you know, when you shoot a woman and she's willing to take a stand and say that that person shot me, that is very hard to get over, you know? And if he really didn't shoot her, then he should have taken the stand and said that. And, you know, I mean, just all the pieces, like, look, like, and he's talking to Kelsey over the telephone, he's apologizing to her, and she's the shooter. I go be in jail and apologize to the person who put you there.
Well, I mean, obviously, maybe they forced his hand, but I did see his bodyguard, his security.
He was in jail.
His security just went public and said the opposite of what the mainstream narrative is.
Not his security, Kelsey's security, who was not her security the night of the actual incident. That was her security during the trial, and he said that he overheard her saying that. That's the story. And that story is from May of last year. And that appeal that they tried to file was denied.
What about the forensic evidence where it said that she stepped on glass? And that's what the original doctor's report was.
She said that she stepped on the glass originally because she said that she didn't want to see everyone arrested. But then when she went to the hospital, so the actual doctor took the stand and said there was bullet fragments. And he pulled those out. And then at first he said she wasn't shot. But then when they filed the appeal, he said that Kelsey was a shooter and he hit her arm and the gun fell to the ground and fired 2 more times.
Vlad, if Rock Nation just pressed you, you could say that too. If you got the call from Rock Nation, be honest.
Have you ever shot a gun before?
Of course.
Okay. Have you ever dropped a gun on the ground and it fired twice?
I have not.
Can you imagine any situation with a gun where you drop it on the ground and it fires 2 times?
Okay.
I'm asking you, as someone who shoots guns, can you imagine that situation happening under any sort of physical condition? His lawyers actually said this in a press conference.
Okay, I mean, she lied on Megan Thee Stallion. She lied on.
That's how she got shot.
On Gayle King, she said that she never had a relationship with him that was sexual, and then later she did.
She lied about that. But she was not taking a stand. You know, at the end of the day, you could lie in interviews, but when you take the stand, it's a very different story.
So that's what we got, man. Tory, this actually may benefit Tory Lanez. I didn't follow the Tory Lanez case. I don't know who Tory Lanez is. I don't know who Megan Thee Stallion is. Of course, I've heard their names on social media and shit like that, but I didn't follow the case. I heard somebody got shot, but I did hear that this guy went to jail. What this may do for Tory Lanez is offer his lawyers an avenue for a mistrial or a retrial. But keeping it on Vlad, I started doing YouTube in 2018. My first channel that I had, I started it January 2018. I ran that channel up to 100,000 subscribers. Then I started talking about politics and they shadow banned my channel. My subscribers dropped from 100,000 down to 80,000. And my money went down from $5,000 a month to $500 a month. That's why I do not talk about religion or politics on this channel. So then I started this channel. I started this channel in like 2022, and I've had some success with this channel. Sneeko, if you got a problem with me showing your image on this video, just let me know. Don't give me a strike or send me a warning, an email that you're gonna strike my channel. Don't do like the Art of Dialogue, who had a strike put on my channel because I talked about how Puff had nothing to do with Tupac's joint being taken. But in 2018, 2019, before the world got shut down, before that whole big incident happened and we had to wear things covering our face and, you know, the whole world got shut down in 2020. Before that, Vlad TV was the go-to channel for interviews as it related to hip-hop artists, music, actors, and he had a dominant position in that space. After the whole world got shut down with the pandemic and people got laid off, and at that point, everybody felt like they could be a YouTuber. They could be a social media influencer. They got laid off. They got fired. They were at home for months. They said, let me become a YouTuber or social media influencer. And everybody started all these channels just talking about anything, talking about nothing. Now, what that did was that took away views from everybody, from me, but from everybody. The views that you got prior to the world getting shut down, once the world got shut down and it came back, your views went down because there was more outlets, there was more people talking, right? And there's only a finite amount of eyeballs. So whereas prior to the world getting shut down, there were fewer channels, there were fewer outlets, there were fewer social media influencers. So those few outlets and influencers got most of the eyeballs. After the world got shut down, you still had the same amount of eyeballs, but you had more outlets, right? So then your eyeballs that came to your spot went down. And I've watched this happen to Vlad. As you can see, he constantly brings on the same guests over and over. And to me, it seems like he is his platform is running out of steam, because we go back a month, he did a video with Cabral where he tweets out, oh, once Diddy sees this video, he's gonna hate me, or this is the video, I got the video I'm gonna show that's gonna, some shit he said. And you know, all it was him and a male entertainer that Puff used to work with Jane Doe, talking about Puff's joint, right? And everybody was like, that was it? So what it seems like is he's constantly now doing sensational things to draw attention to his platform. Now, Vlad is a pro. Vlad is good at what he does, and Vlad influenced me in my early YouTube days. But what you're seeing now, and see, when he did the video with my man, when he did the video with my man, he comes on Because I think my man, from what I know about him, he is pro Tory Lanez. He has been. I don't know Sneeko. This is my first time ever seeing him in life, but from what I saw in the comments, he was pro Tory Lanez, and he had took the position and was showing information that proved Tory Lanez's innocence. And I think Tory Lanez went to trial, right? Somebody put it in the live chat. Did Tory Lanez go to trial? I think Tory Lanez went to trial. I think it was a state case in California. So what this does, he went to trial. Walk on wood. Okay. It was in California, right? So, you know, Vlad, there's an ethics issue here, right? There's an integrity issue here in LA. You know, whether you are playing around or you're serious, you don't play around with a trial where someone was convicted and went to prison potentially for something they did not do. And you tweet a tweet that's gotten over 10 million views that you were accepting money from Rock Nation. You were paid to promote a story against Tory Lanez. And in your tweet, go ahead, Sean. And in your tweet, you went by? Yeah. You admit that you were paid off. You say the police were paid off. You say the judge is paid off. You say the Supreme Court is paid off. You make some serious allegations, DJ Vlad, that not only could free Tory Lanez and give Tory Lanez a retrial or a mistrial and set him free today, but you also open yourself up to civil prosecution, accusing judges of being paid off. I don't know if that's a crime. If it is, I don't know what the crime it is, but you open yourself up to a lot of problems, potential problems for yourself. And it's just a reflection, like, even if you, like you say, I'm just trolling. Do you really troll like that? Accusing a man of paying you? Accusing the whole LA Police Department of being bribed? Accusing Supreme Court justices of being bribed? Accusing Megan Stallion of being a liar? Do you really play like that? Is that something to play with? Right? And I get it. I get it, because Funny Blue Jacket did the same thing at the Puffy trial. He paid off. Hey, Sean, read some of them stories out of that book. You heard me? Yeah. Funny Blue Jacket, I believe, was behind Tisa Tells. He's behind the Art of Dialogue. He was behind Gene Deal. He was behind maybe even DJ Vlad, because he kept Marv. You know, Tony Yayo's real name is Marv. Marv. DJ Vlad kept Marv on his channel. So I believe that that's possible because I saw that with the Puffy trial. I saw social media influencers being financially backed, and they spew the narrative of the money that's backing them. But Vlad, he lost points on this one. You don't. There was no. Let's just assume. Let's look at both scenarios. Let's assume these tweets are serious, right? Let's assume these tweets are serious and they're truthful, right? Let's assume. Rock Nation has been paying me to support Megan. Now, if that's true, then you are not an independent journalist. You are not independent. You do not practice fair and balanced journalism, if that's true. They also paid off all of the jury members to convict Tory. Now you are making serious allegations about the criminal court in California, the state of California criminal court, that jury members were paid. And they bribed the judge. Jay-Z did a verse for his grandson's new album. They bribed the judge. Now you're making allegations. You are soiling and putting a stain on the name of the judge who oversaw that trial, who people can find out his name. They paid off Megan's doctor to lie about bullet fragments. She was never shot. So from what I understand, the first forensic analyst of Megan Stallion's foot said it was glass that was in her foot. But then later on at the trial, it came out that a doctor came out and said there were bullet fragments. So if what you're saying is true, the LA police are all on Jay's payroll, and it doesn't stop. But you're not ready to hear that. The Mexican guy who stabbed, who do you think paid him to do that? You already know the answer to that. The 3 Supreme Court judges who denied Tory's appeal all paid off by Jay-Z. Now, what you've done, you've slandered Jay-Z's name, you've engaged in defamation, and you've engaged in libel. Right? All of these things open you up to a civil suit. But if you're serious, if what you wrote is serious, you will need to now show paperwork, documentation, real paperwork to support the claims that you sent out in this tweet to the world that's gotten over 10 million views. And I hope they take it there with you. I hope they take it there with you. Jay also paid Trump not to pardon Tory. Why? The president cannot pardon state cases. I can't keep these lies secret anymore. If this is my last tweet, you know who silenced me. So now you're accusing someone of potentially causing you harm. This is just not good. It's just not good for DJ Vlad from a business standpoint and a personal standpoint. But it also knocks down the level of respect in the social media community of how now we look at Vlad, right? Now, I know a lot of y'all say that Vlad is 5-0 and, you know, he's with the feds. He brings dudes on there to convict themselves. But you can't give Vlad that label, because if there's question, you can't go on his page, you can't go on Vlad's show and incriminate yourself with your own mouth and then blame it on him, right? If he asks you a question about something and you don't want to answer, you just say no comment, right? Even if he is the feds. Now, let's look at the flip side of that coin and assume if he's joking, that nothing of what he said is true. Then you still are opened up, you still committed defamation, definitely at this point. You definitely committed slander, and you definitely committed libel against Roc Nation, Jay-Z, the 3 Supreme Court judges, the doctor, the LA police. There was this to me is a no-win situation for DJ Vlad. And I think that his brand will take a hit, although he got what he was seeking, 10 million views on the tweet. He's going to get some traffic to his channels, to his Instagram. But those are short-term boosts that could potentially create a long-term problem for him. So now I look at all of the interviews that he has done with a bit of skepticism, right? And you know, he you know, this is just no good. I was watching the academics. He eventually calls into academics, and him and academics talk about it. I didn't get to that part in academics' video. Y'all can go watch academics' full. You can go watch academics' full video on this.
Federal offenses and cases, but knowing Trump likes to bend the rules, Jay was not taking any chances. I can't keep these secrets anymore.
So, you know, he takes money. DJ Vlad takes money. If we're taking his tweets for what they really are, he said he was paid in Bitcoin. It was $10,000 a month, and then it went up to $50,000 a month. And he said he was paid these monies from Roc Nation to support Megan Thee Stallion. Was she on Roc Nation? Was she a Jay-Z artist? Is Megan Thee Stallion a Jay-Z artist? So there's just so much conflict of interest here, man. Kanguro, so she's on Rock Nation. So, you know, it's very difficult to, she wasn't at first, but now she is. It's very difficult to be honest, straightforward, transparent, practice real, fair, and balanced journalism, report cases the way it's being reflected in the testimony, in the evidence, in the transcript, on the record. That's very difficult to do, especially if you are biased in your heart one way or the other. But you want to know something? It's even more difficult to not be fair and balanced, to take money and be bribed, be bought, purchased to take a position on something that you may not really feel the way that the narrative that you have to say because you've been purchased. I believe DJ Vlad has been purchased and can be purchased. I believe that. I believe when he went and spoke to my man, he was trying to joke, you know, trying to talk in his black voice. You know, he's a Russian man, but he wants to be accepted so much into the foundational Black American culture of hip hop, the same way as Marv, who is of Haitian ancestry. When he's speaking to this guy, Sneeko, he's talking in like his black voice, you know, but I believe that there is some truth to what he's saying, right? I believe that there is that he has been bought off. I believe that because he tweeted it. And I don't care if he's now saying, oh, he's joking. I don't believe that. I really don't. And this is actually could be a good thing for Tory Lanez because Tory Lanez, his lawyers are supposed to jump all over this. And don't be shocked. Today is a holiday. Don't be shocked if tomorrow, Tuesday, the 17th, we wake up and we see Tory Lanez's lawyers file for a mistrial or they demand a retrial based on what this guy tweeted on his tweet. This is just a loss of points for Vlad TV. It calls into question every video that he's ever done and every video that he'll do going forward, 100%. You know, especially from somebody like me that holds integrity. I said integrity to, I hold that high, right? I put that way up here. I hold that in high esteem. You know, telling the truth and you know, he's lost points with me, right? There's no coming back from this for me. You can't say you was joking when you're saying what you're saying. You know, and if you were joking, that's just indicative of the fact that you're probably desperate now for views, right? Your views have come down, right? When your views come down, your money comes down. My views from January came down big. My money for January that just passed came down big. And it wasn't just me, it was across the board. I've even talked to some bigger YouTubers, and they all said that for January 2026, everybody's numbers were down like half. And I think Vlad's got a whole staff. I've heard him say that he employs 15 people. So when those YouTube checks fluctuate. They fluctuate from month to month. And, you know, if the companies that are buying advertising space on YouTube cut their advertising budgets, then that's going to be less advertising revenue that YouTube earns, and that's going to be less advertising money that we are paid from YouTube as far as ad revenue for our content. So this looks like a desperation move, like the same way he did with the Puffy joint about a month ago with the interview with Cabral. He tweeted out a few days prior to releasing that video that, yo, this is going to be the most shocking video in the Diddy trial, and Diddy is going to hate me forever. And it was a big nothing burger, man. It was a big nothing. It was a big nothing, man. So I wanted to do this. I watched the Academics joint. I'm going to probably come back and touch on it some more. I'm going to watch Academics conversation with Vlad, and I'll probably come back on a little later. And yeah, man, you know, what I understand being a content creator, I've learned so much about perception. I've learned so much about controlling a narrative, setting a tone. Like even now, 2 weeks ago, I was in Detroit. I went to the movies to see Moses the Black. And I don't even look at movies the same anymore because I can see, while I'm sitting there watching the movie, how they edit scenes. And I say, this was a scene that was shot on another day. This scene was shot on another day. This scene was shot in Atlanta. That scene was shot in Chicago. I can see that now. I can see, because I'm a content creator. I can take 8 of my videos on my phone and chop them up and make you think something that may not be true. That's how powerful content creation is, especially editing. So I have you guys that are consumers, media consumers, you don't know that part, right? You're just on the consumer tip. But for us that are content creators, man, I could take 10 videos, chop them up, and put a song behind it and make you believe that goddamn Friday is Tuesday afternoon by the time I'm done. And I pound that video in your head, and then I put it in a loop like they do on mainstream media, CNN. They loop. They did the same thing with the Puffy joint. When Puffy whooped Cassie's ass in front of that elevator, they took 13 seconds and looped it on CNN, MSNBC. All right. But we got to discuss it though. I know. Tuck your shirt in. I'm in the house. I don't care if we're in the house. Tuck it in anyway. You got to look like something. CNN, MSNBC, Bloomberg, Fox News, everybody looping the 13 seconds of Puffy whooping her ass, right? Which was intended to give the world the impression that if he could do this, which was clearly assault, it was clearly domestic violence, and had Puffy been brought to court in a state court on assault and battery, or domestic violence, instant conviction. But what they did was they put in people's mind, if he could do this to Cassie, then he can do that. He could do racketeering conspiracy. He could do bribery. He could do arson. He could do violence. He could do kidnapping. And that was the whole narrative. That was the whole narrative. Yet, when I went to the trial and none of that came out, and we find out that that video that they chopped into 13 seconds really was 6 minutes and 38 seconds long, and that after Puffy assaulted her, they sat there, Cassie and Puffy sat there, he sat down in a chair, he threw a vase at her, he sat down in a chair, and they talked. Then she left. She went home. The police went to her house. She didn't tell them nothing about the story. And then later on that same night, she went back by Puffy's house, and her and Puff went to her movie premiere the same night of the incident in front of the elevator. And the reason that came out in court that he did that to her was she stole his cell phone. She stole his phone. It was never proven in the evidence, in the testimony, on the stand, under oath, that there was a freak off going on. But they made it seem like when he was dragging her, like he's dragging, she wants to leave and he's dragging her back. No. They never proved, they never showed the guy that was supposed to have been in the room. They never showed that. He never came to testify under oath. But that was the narrative. So I say all of that to say that you have to look at things with a discerning eye. You know, I don't look at the media the same, because nothing of what they said came out at the trial. And so like even this, with what they're saying about Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion and Jay-Z, and you know, I don't believe none of it. You know, only me, two feminists, are on Cassie's side. Lotto fooled you, Sean. Take all of them down in respect. I didn't get fooled. I gave someone an opportunity to tell their story. That's all I did. It wasn't no fool, you know. If I give a person an opportunity to have access to my platform and they don't take advantage of it, that's on them. You understand? As I said, and you don't tell me what to do with my platform. As I said, I've done thousands of interviews. I'm sure that 60 Minutes, CNBC, ABC, CBS, Vlad, academics, when you interview somebody, all you can hope for and all you can expect is that your questions will be answered truthfully, and that whatever story they have to tell, that they're telling the truth. That is on the interviewee. The pressure and the burden of proof is on the person being interviewed, not the person conducting the interview. You understand? So it wasn't about me getting fooled. But that's what really is going on, man. D Haven, what up, man? Shout out to D Haven. I think you did an interview with him too, didn't you, D Haven? Let's get together and shoot some content on it, man. But what is undeniable? What is undeniable is that Vlad TV, DJ Vlad, his brand has taken a hit as a result of this. And this is his own doing, right? This is him tweeting on his own Twitter or X account. This is him tweeting on his own. This isn't him interviewing somebody and that person sitting next to him or across from him is saying something. He is tweeting this. And, you know, what I learned is, yo, Sean, come here. What I learned is that the truth has to be told. Go brush it. You put grease on your hair?
I brushed it though.
No, you didn't.
I did
You
brush it.
did not.
I did.
You did not.
Yes, I did.
Say what's up to the people.
What's up?
Go brush your hair and put some tie your look like something, man. Get your shit together. Put some grease on your hair, brush your hair, and put your do-rag on. That's why your waves won't come in, because you keep letting them get fucked up. You got to keep brushing. You know, Vlad is supposed to be the premier outlet for the hip hop space, right? Him and academics. And, you know, this is just not good from what I can see. You know, whether he was serious or joking, it's just not. Put that Murray's grease on there. What you know about that Murray's in the can? The yellow can? I used to do my waves this way. Sean brushed his waves that way. I used to brush mine to the side. I had the waves going around. What about the Dax? Remember that Dax grease? Remember the Dax? So yeah, man. No good. No good. You know, all his interviews now is like, you know, what's really going on? Is this the truth or what? Sport waves, yeah. What about, yo, Stacy, I see you. Yeah. I'm gonna be going live again a little later on. I'm gonna start streaming more, man. I'm gonna start doing more streams, more lives, because I get more views. I get more super chats. I make more money. Get off my wall. Get off my, come here. Luna. Come here. Come here. Hurry up. Come here. Come here. All right, stay over there. Come here. All right, y'all, let me get up out of here. Peace.